finance part. Today we are talking a little bit about your saving, investing, and risk management unit. We're specifically looking at saving and investing and reasonable goals that you should have for yourself. We've got a guest with us today to share a little bit about her own experience. Would you go ahead and introduce yourself for us?
Hi, my name is Megan Spilka, and I've been in the financial banking industry for 16 years.
Great. All right, so Megan, let's share with the students, what are some advantages of saving?
Saving is the best thing you can do, especially starting at an early age, just getting into the habit. Whether it's saving for a vacation or saving for Christmas or birthdays. I personally have like 6 savings accounts. Each of them are for their own different thing, and then I also just have my regular savings and an emergency savings. But it just helps you be prepared for anything that comes up.
Great example that you mentioned specifically, that emergency savings account. Why is it so important to have that, and what would you foresee that type of funding being used for?
Emergency saving is probably the most important. Just especially starting that in college or once you get into a relationship when you're older. But life happens. For instance, this year, 2020, COVID, there's been a lot of people that have been laid off with their jobs. And that just allows you to be prepared to pay your monthly bills, like your rent or your mortgage, cell phone bill, electricity, all those necessities that you need.
If students are thinking numerically, like what amount do I need in that emergency fund? What's kind of a good rule of thumb as they're thinking about, like, gosh, how much do I need in that account?
So that's a great question. I would say beginning, you want to start with 10%. 10% of your paycheck all needs to separately go into that emergency savings. Don't touch that unless it's an emergency. And then build yourself up to 20% once you get into the habit and routine of saving. I would say you would want to plan to at least have like 6 to 9 months just to be on the safe side in that emergency savings. That would cover all your monthly necessity bills.
And that's the prime example in the case of a job loss, or even if a family member falls ill and you have to maybe quit to take care of them, making sure that those necessities, those bills are important.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
In your own life, how has it been easy or challenging to stick to those kind of recommendations on saving?
Well, there's always going to be those ones. So things come up, whether it's a new car or a new house, but just those situations or those ones make you want to waver from your typical saving habits. But just know that you have a plan. At broad scheme of things, it's not that much every paycheck. And look to using your regular savings for those temptations or ones that you have. I would say that's going to come up all the time, but just stick to your plan.
Thinking back to your own childhood, what is an example of something that you saved for as a kid or a teenager?
I would say it's my first cell phone. But just having to save my own money, that was, my parents told me, well, you got to pay for your cell phone and your cell phone bill if you want one. And that wasn't until I was 16 and I had to have a job then. So that was probably like my first big purchase.
What would you say that you are currently saving for?
Currently saving for vacation. So I've learned to have a vacation account, and then I just save for our annual vacations. That way, once it comes time for vacation, we can enjoy it without worrying about going into debt or not having enough money to enjoy it.
And then thinking ahead in the next phase of life, when you're a little bit older, your kids are older, even out of the house, what do you see yourself saving for, in the next 10, 15, 20 years?
Well, my son is 7, so currently thinking he'll need a car in less than 10 years, and then there's college. So just making sure that we establish a good savings account for him to be able to do those things. And then also looking at, retirement eventually down the road. And also paying off debt. I know that's not a part of savings, but it is being disciplined to, creating a goal and saying, I want to pay off my house and be debt free. So,
students, hopefully that has been helpful as you think about your own saving goals and just some practical tips on make savings